Hello everyone, this is Martin Mayer, and I'm thrilled to spend the upcoming few minutes introducing you to Mari 7, the latest of our industry standard texturing software. This upgrade comes with a range of new features and improvements based on the feedback we received directly from you. This webinar will review the exciting new updates to Mari and show you how they provide more streamlined and efficient workflow for artists. But before we dive into all the goodness Mari 7 brings to the table, let's look at the features we introduced in Mari 6 for context. Expanding on the USD workflows introduced in Mari 5, we added USD export support for Arnold and RenderMan shaders. This enables users to export the USD look file that contains all the relevant shader information needed for look development ready asset. We want to make the USD accessible to everyone, and we aim to make it more manageable and user-friendly, and this effort continues in Mari 7 as well. In Mari 6, we also introduced the ability to use Mari selection tools to assign materials to the correct USD face set-based location. We remove the need to manually bring your USD look file into your look development DCC and have to use their limited selection tools to reassign your materials to the correct faces again. Artists can use Mari's intuitive selection group tools to quickly assign materials to specify areas of their model to ensure these remain correctly assigned within the expected USD look. We also introduced the roller brush, a new painting mode that allows artists to paint a tileable image that follows the curves and the direction of the brush strokes. Artists can create work with more flexibility and breakthrough limitations, and this enables them to work on stylistic animation projects and perfect the finer details, which also means creating seams and decals on characters or clothing with ease. We also introduced the Python snippets as shelf items, so artists don't need to install Python scripts into their scripts path before launching Mari. This encourages artists to share scripts among themselves and across studios in order to get tasks done more efficiently. Pipeline teams can create scripts to help their artists instead of manually having to run the code for them or try to explain how to run a Python script. This also means that these scripts can be executed at any point instead of needing to be installed prior to launching Mari in the user script folder or path. On the node graph side of things, a new set of nodes was introduced to Mari 6, and these two are the broadcaster and receiver, or the teleport node. This creates hidden connections so artists can easily organize their node graph, clear up networks, and reduce access clicks. The teleport node works inside and outside of nested groups and materials and can be exported within a material whilst remembering which broadcast it's looking for. Artists can also jump quickly between broadcasts and receivers to quickly navigate the node graph without needing to manually find nodes. And now back to Mari 7. Mari 7 ships with an exciting new mesh map baking system called the Bakery, allowing you for quick and easy capture of geometry-based information such as ambient occlusion and curvature in almost no time at all. Artists can batch select recipes for baking with the various render settings and bake them all in one go. The Bakery can even be used on a PTX project or baking textures for animated geometry. You are ready to use your bake maps in your textures immediately after the baking process has been completed, all within one streamlined workflow. The Bakery can be accessed by selecting the new oven icon from the main Mari toolbar or via Objects, the Bakery. You can select each recipe from the Add Bake item drop-down list and you can start baking. Under the Render Bake list, you can choose which recipes you wish to bake: ambient occlusion, curvature, thickness, position, normal or displacement. You can also add multiple recipes of the same type to bake different objects without occluding each other from the list. Artists can budget the size, bit depth and edge bleed mode for each recipe and save them as a preset for future use. The Bake To and Bake From sections let you choose meshes to use when baking. The Bake To refers to the low resolution mesh, and the Bake From specifies which mesh should be used for high resolution detail capture. A high resolution mesh can be also loaded from disk. If you don't have a different high-res mesh you want to use, select the same mesh in both, which can be particularly useful for capturing thickness and position maps. We wanted the Bakery to be as versatile as possible. If there is more than one object in the Mari project, you can set the object selection per recipe, which allows further control on how the maps will be baked depending on the geometry interaction. The Sky Goddess has two pieces of geometry, the body and the crystals. To ensure that the crystals don't cast shadows on the head, we can add 2 different ambient occlusion recipes and select different meshes for each bake item. Turning off the Use Same Meshes for All Bake Items checkbox allows you to choose different geometry per separate recipes. Bake parameters are dynamically changed per recipe selection, so you can quickly tweak your map settings to get a better result. The preview gives you instant feedback on how the maps will be baked. We've added a drop-down menu for choosing the preview quality. Medium and high will produce higher quality but are slower to compute. You can also hit a pause and then you can tweak your parameters if you don't want to wait for the preview to dynamically update. Under the global settings, the bakery has 2 options for finding the corresponding high poly meshes and the low poly meshes. The closest tries to find the closest high-resolution surface to the low poly surface, and the cage, which tries to find the furthest high poly surface within a given distance. The bakery supports exporting the maps into Paint Node, GeoChannel, or Channel Node. If you need to export maps for animated geometry, use the animation on. If you want to export the location to a disk, simply add your file path and check Export on Bake. This was a brief interaction to the bakery, and we are more than eager to hear how the bakery might fit into your palette. With Mari 7, now you have finally a solution for batch map creation, streamlining your materials and making Mari the only texturing tool that you will ever need. Aside from the work on the bakery, we also wanted to improve the USD Importer. We wanted to take a step back and take on board your feedback about our USD workflows. Mari 7 improves the USD Importer to ensure that it's easy to use for any artist. The upgraded importer clearly shows the USD hierarchy, making it easier to select models and model variants for your projects. To create a project with the USD asset using the new importer, first select the USD, USDA or USDZ file in the path field from the new project dialog. And once you selected a file, the importer will display all the separate meshes in the file in a clear tree view. You can then choose which models you want to use by simply selecting or deselecting them using the checkboxes next to each mesh. If the USD file has model variants, Mari will also display them in the variant set field, allowing the artist to choose which models to load from the drop-down easily. Mari will list the paths of the models you've selected under the Selected Items field, making it easy to keep track of your choices. And all the settings from previous importer are also still retained under the Options field. Mari 7 can now use expressions to customize your imports as well. Simply right-click on the USD view and choose Select by Expression. List the full path to your models, followed by the comma, and load them into the scene, and use the exclamation mark to exclude the assets. You can also automate the importing of child geometries simply by specifying the parent directory in your path, which will automatically include all child paths. This method avoids the need to importing each child geometry one by one. All of these options are there to isolate different sections of your asset so you can concentrate on one task at a time by reducing your project to only the necessary assets, and your projects become lighter and more manageable. Also, Mari 7 features a brand new backup system that reduces the project size on disk and makes it easier to restore lost work should the worst happen. The system has already been tested on a studio-scale productions and it's highly effective. The new method ensures that artists can rely on autosave without the fear of losing their work. When working on a large asset in Mari, the size of the project on disk would often become bloated. To avoid interference with their painting, artists would frequently turn off the autosave system altogether. However, this fear can be put to rest with the new Mari project backup system developed through our collaboration with Veta. This new version introduces optimizations to Mari's existing autosave system and new project backup method specifically designed to reduce the size of the projects on disk. This new automatic project backup system is already in use on live VFX productions, and it makes restoring an archive easier than ever before. So when you want to set up a backup, when you're opening a project, a new preference located at the File Settings Backup path can be used to select a separate project backup location that lives independently of your main Mari cache directory. This file path can either be hosted locally or as a network location. And anytime an autosave or a manual save is triggered, a new restore point will be created recording the project state at that particular time. Using Mari's extensive APIs also allows a backup path for an artist to be set up via a pipeline team, and with a little bit of pipeline magic, the auto-saving system can be set to work on a separate thread so that painting is never again interrupted. If you need to restore a backup, simply right-click on your project in the Project tab and hover over the Restore options in the context menu. The Restore menu lists your backups organized by date and time, and each with a thumbnail preview of the project at that specific state. You can restore forwards and backwards without losing work, meaning that you can even export textures from an older version of the project and bring them into your current state and continue working. We also added several new API functions that allow studios to work with the new backup system more efficiently, which is suitable for larger pipelines. We prioritize quality of life improvements for our users. With Mari 7, we made node graph tasks faster and easier with features like quicker node access in the tab menu and easier disconnections. The fuzzy finder in the tab menu now allows Mari to search for nodes, layers, or Python commands even when a typo exists in the prompt. Furthermore, typing acronyms such as MCBP will bring the multi-channel breakpoint node and list other matching nodes such as the multi-channel merge node. A new pin icon has been added next to the search field to promote nodes to the favorite list. Mari will also list the most recently used nodes at the top of the search menu, making it even easier to create your desired nodes. When it comes to disconnecting nodes, Mari new Sever mode allows you to disconnect nodes quickly and easily. Just press Y in the node graph context, draw lines where you want to disconnect nodes and see the instant visual indication. Press Y again to exit. You can also remap the shortcut from the shortcut manager if you need to. To make it easier for artists to match behaviors when moving between Nuke and Mari, we added a new way to disconnect nodes as well. Node graph artists can now select one or multiple nodes and shake them to cut connections. If you prefer removing nodes using the shortcut, we also got you covered. The already existing shortcut Ctrl, Shift and X now also works when selecting multiple nodes. Your node selection highlights are now also more visually dominant, making it much easier to find your way in the node graph, even in large projects. And when selecting a node, the corresponding node properties will also be highlighted. And double-clicking on a node will bring the node properties to the top. If a long list of node properties is present, double-clicking on a new node will get the node to the top of the list. Mari 7 also features two new procedural noise nodes that can be used in your projects, the Bubbles and the Camouflage nodes. The Bubbles node is a new procedural node that allows artists to create various procedural patterns derived from cell or hexagon shapes with the ability to have random color values and offsets in the image, both in X and Y axis. And the Camouflage node is a new procedural noise node that produces a camouflage or splatter effects by mixing together two noise signals with a distance field. And by changing the frequency of the two noise signals and distance field threshold, a variety of patterns can be created. The Camouflage node can be also combined with other procedural nodes to create more complex and organic patterns. Thanks to the strong relationships we have with our render partners, they updated both the Chaos V-Ray and Autodesk R-Node shaders. This means that what you see in Mari is what you will get in the final render for more accurate results. In Mari 7, we are happy to announce that we are introducing a new login-based licensing system and expanding it to include new features and functionality for teams and organizations. This new licensing system allows you to manage your pool of licenses in the cloud with several new tools and features for administrators, giving you more control and greater flexibility over how you administer and use your software and licenses. And last but not the least, Mari's third-party libraries have been upgraded to match those specified by the VFX Reference Platform 2023. So Mari 7 is a major leap forward in showcasing our desire to serve VFX and film artists. With new features and enhancements, it streamlines workflows, enhances usability, and integrates seamlessly with other industry-standard technologies. Mari 7 empowers artists to achieve remarkable results and unlocks creative possibilities for texturing artists worldwide. We know that this is not the end of the journey and we want to hear from you. Please reach out and give us a feedback and tell us what you need for Mari to truly be the only texturing tool you'll need. Thank you and happy texturing.